Hi, Sam Baxendale here, co-founder of Kinetic Hiring. So for today's final installment of the second series of Insight and Demand, we're going to be interviewing Matthew Louzada, who is co-founder and managing director of Brighttail, a supremely successful digital marketing agency based here in Malaysia. Now, the reason I was so keen to interview Matthew was because in the context of COVID has been a basis for businesses to improve their practices around people. How companies hire, how companies train and retain and engage their staff has had to be absolutely front and center. Now, interestingly, Matthew's background is Silicon Valley. So the purposes of today's session is really to speak to Matthew about his view on what good people practice looks like based on that experience. And that's led to, interestingly, a great deal of success for Matthew's business here in Malaysia. I look forward to running the session, certainly, and to have Matthew share some fantastic insights with you over the course of the interview. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today. So to kick things off for the benefit of our audience, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background and what you've been up to?
All right, thanks Sam. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm Matthew Louzada, founder and managing director of Brighttail. I founded Brighttail about 5 years ago in Silicon Valley. 3 years ago, I came to Malaysia to open up our office here. We've been here for over that time, building out the agency, our capabilities, and our team. We're at about 30 people right now and growing quickly.
Fantastic. Well, the reason I wanted to talk to you so much today is, having got to know you, I've identified some really fantastic practices you've got in your business. You've grown quickly, you've scaled, you've got an awesome proposition, and you've retained staff. So I think for that reason and for the benefit of the audience, we'd be really interested to hear a little bit more about your secret sauce in terms of what's really worked for you in terms of your hiring practices. And, you know, inevitably where we are in terms of COVID, we're coming out the back end of that. And hopefully, you know, we're looking forward to better times. But I think to start with, we'd be really interested in hearing about the three things that you really are looking to take forward in your business based on experiences over the last year or so.
One of the things that is really important to us is a Silicon Valley culture. That's one of the things that we've brought over to our agency in Malaysia. So we've done a lot of work around that, around creating an environment where innovation and people thrive. And so looking at this last year, one of the things that was important to us, and really every business out there, was becoming more agile. And that's about more than being nimble. We look at it across three different vectors: people, processes, and platforms. So with people, it's really about how do you attract, engage, and empower the best talent. What are the systems and practices that you need in place? What are the tools that you need in place? What are the values that your business operates on? Values are really important, and what we find in terms of attracting and retaining the best talent and people, it ultimately comes down to the values and finding people who are inspired by our values and our purpose in the world and want to be a part of that. And then creating an environment where they can thrive.
Fantastic. Could you give us an example of how you kind of put that into practice? You know, how you inculcate an approach that shares values and gets people to buy into those values, perhaps, or processes which speak to that?
One of the first things that we look for is a growth mindset, because growth is one of our core values. Our purpose as a brand is to unleash the full potential of people and businesses. So businesses, that's about our clients and helping to grow them through great clients or great marketing. People, though, it's about growing people. As a leader, my job and what fulfills me as a person is putting people in a position to succeed, growing them, and watching them to develop great careers. And so with that value, a lot of people, they want to learn and grow. You want to find people who show that they're willing to put the work in to learn and grow. It's important that people are empowered in their roles and take ownership of their growth, because that's going to create the best symbiotic relationship between the business and the employee.
Absolutely. Would you say that COVID has sort of galvanized those principles? Because I've known you for a while now, and I'm familiar with your views and ideals. Would you say that over the last 18 months, that's kind of galvanized your approach and made you stronger in your convictions around those?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. COVID has really highlighted the importance of transparency. When you have people working from home in front of their computers all day, not necessarily interacting with their colleagues, being able to pop over to the desk next to them to get an answer, it's really important that the business has a value around transparency, because that's how you empower people.
Sure.
You give them access to the information they need, make the people they need accessible to them as well. So it's important to have the right softwares in place. For us, that's investing heavily in knowledge management tools, as well as communication tools. We have a project management platform. What we've really done is we've thought about our tech stack and invested heavily there over the last couple of years, really.
When you talk about tech stack, you mean your internal operations, how you run the business internally?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you communicate, how you drive projects, it's all thought through and cultivated.
And making sure that it's all accessible by everyone. Within our business, there are no secrets. Everything is accessible. There are some walls there where staff might not see management conversations, but other than that, everything that people could need access to, they have access to, and that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that defines the people challenge of your business is you're doing marketing at a very high level for a Silicon Valley audience. So that means using perhaps technologies and processes and platforms that are newer here. But you've managed to actually solve that sort of talent gap through your own approach. It'd be interesting to hear a bit more about that, how you've bridged that gap.
One of the benefits we've had is we work with a lot of companies that actually build or implement these collaboration platforms. So we have great insight into the tool set and what it can do and best practices around usage. So what's important is project plan. Actually, we have three things I would call out. Project planning is really important, so that everyone understands what's happening with the project, who's doing what the dependencies are, what the timeline is, and it's all updated in real time. So having a good project management system is important. Knowledge base, critical in a remote working environment. So what we've, just to give you an example, employee onboarding. If you've tried to onboard employees at this time, it can be challenging. You can't sit down with them for days at a time and walk them through stuff. So in our knowledge base, we're able to provide a 3-month onboarding plan where they have clarity from day one what they're going to do, week one what their milestones are and focuses are, and just a week-by-week guide. So the employee has a clear guide to what success looks like. They have links to all of the places within the knowledge base they need to go to find the information or the exercises they need to complete. And so things like that are extremely helpful. And then we complement that with a buddy system. So that was one of the things that we added during work from home. Was we had the onboarding plan that provided clarity, but there was also a disconnect between the personnel, and so having a buddy who could meet up with the new hire on a regular basis, hopefully a daily basis, and just kind of chat through some things, help them feel connected. That really supplements the other things that our teams are doing.
Would that be a mentor level or more peer level, would you say?
Peer level.
Okay.
Peer level.
Okay, cool. So that really helps the buddy idea. It's not about hierarchy, it's about established members of the team helping new people. Simply.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it provides that extra level of connection as well.
Fantastic.
If you can't find the talent you're looking for, find a way to develop it. Be the place that develops it.